In the face of Wu Huaqiu's elder's provocation, I still did my legs and didn't move at all. Even Wu Huaqiu's elder was shaken. At this time my heart is very bitter. It seems that I can't walk out of this door today without pulling out the Hato Peak experience card. At this time, Wu Huaqiu elder also pointed at me and said, "So elder, your sword clan disciple said that you can suppress the Womo. Now you can dare to fight. Elder Su, if you have any means, use them." But don't say that Mr. Luo is bullying the small with the big. Is it not a bluff? The thing that gives me the biggest headache is that behind me my disciples are still shouting, "Come on, who's afraid of who?" It's really pissing me off. Just at this moment, a sword energy suddenly rushed towards the Wu Huaqiu elder, only to hear that person shouting, "Wu Huaqiu counts for nothing." The Wu Huaqiu elder was somewhat slightly stunned at this. Cloud Sea Sword Immortal, you've actually broken through to the middle stage of void refining. The two breaths then collided, and the two fought fiercely against each other for a while. Suddenly a sword aura then came at me, almost injuring me by mistake. While I was baffled, it seemed like something had just passed by. The few people present were startled by this scene. Only Mo Li felt very sorry. It was so close to hitting the... Seeing me so calm, ninth senior sister secretly vowed in her heart that one day she would make me understand her feelings for me, only to hear a roar from the ninth senior sister. I definitely won't tolerate onlookers slandering him. Su Bei smile will be guarded by me. At this moment, the Wu Huaqiu elder panicked a lot. How was it possible that he could communicate with the aura of heaven and earth? At the middle stage of refining emptiness, ninth senior sister didn't answer him, but only coldly questioned, "You still haven't answered me. What do you count as Wu Huaqiu?" And as the effects of the medicine from earlier are taking effect, it looks like I need to fully activate the selfless realm to suppress it in order to do so. The other clans that side next to me, they were also impressed by my temperament. While on the contrary, that elder of the Wu Huaqiu, his combination and pattern were a far cry from mine. At this time, the Wu Huaqiu elder pointed at me and said, "Elder Su, the sword sect disciple said that you can suppress the Wu with one sword, but now they're hiding behind a woman and don't even dare to fart. Is the clan elder a shrinking violet?" Hearing the Wu Huaqiu elder's mockery of me, the ninth senior sister directly exploded, directly breaking through the heart demon tribulation. At this moment, the ninth senior sister was on fire and asked loudly, "I'll ask you one last time, what does Wu Huaqiu count as?" Wu Huaqiu? And nothing? But what are you? Sword sect, a rubbish sect at the bottom of the enrollment ladder. What qualifications do you have to ask me about Wu Huaqiu? I saw you as a woman and let you go, but since you don't know what's good for you, I'll hit you with the purple hammer. At this time, I suddenly called off the ninth senior sister. Then I arrogantly said, "You asked me what the sword clan is. I'll tell you, if Wu Huaqiu doesn't recruit, my sword sect will. And if Wu Huaqiu doesn't dare to do it, my sword sect will do it. What you dare not manage, I will manage. Those whom you can recruit, my sword sect will recruit. And those whom you cannot recruit, my sword sect will recruit. Why do I dare to do whatever I want? I'm sorry, this is the Qingping sword. A sword clan with the Qingping sword can do whatever it wants. This is the current sword sect. The sword sect's greatest treasure. The Qingping sword has returned, and the former sword sect has finally returned. When they saw me draw the Qingping sword, the female disciples and the ninth senior sisters all showed their adoring eyes, and the elders of Wu Huaqiu were scared to death by me on the spot. A bunch of spineless things. With this strength they still dare to pretend with me. Fortunately, only the people of Mo City know. Before the Eastgate recruitment news will not be able to spread for a while. Hurry up and roll back to Wu Huaqiu, or really have no face to see people. Mo Li, who was licking the dagger on the side, was called by Xiao Chong. "Sister, don't you have any feeling?" Then with a bad smile on his face, he said, "Sister, did you forget that the dagger was coated with medicine? Now what are you going to grab with me?" I only heard Xiao Chong hurriedly start complimenting me. "Elder Su, you are so handsome. Elder Su, I want to learn this. Please take me as your disciple." And I completely ignored Xiao Chong, turned around and walked towards the new son of Qi. "How about it? Do you want to worship me?" At this moment, I also felt that Mo Li seemed to be a bit off, as if he had been hit by the harmony scattering. Looking at Mo Li, I hurriedly shouted, "Mo Li, you calm down. After all, she doesn't have the same cultivation as me." Mo Li then collapsed on the ground. The medicine coated on the dagger was useful for the void refining stage, let alone her. At this moment, Mo Li's eyes were getting more and more confused, and his mouth was still very seductive, shouting, "It's so hot. Master, When Xiao Ruoxiong saw this scene in front of her, she thought in her heart, never let Mo Li worship me, otherwise Mo Li will definitely be persecuted by me. I looked at Mo Li's appearance, is very puzzled. How could she be in the Harmony San? Turned his head and asked to Xiao Chong, his sister, this is how the Kyun said she licked the dagger earlier for some reason. Maybe it was from the drugs. Maybe there's something else going on here. I picked up Mo Li and told Xiao Ruoxi that master has to take a step ahead to go to the Red Pavilion to deal with some things. And you and ninth senior sister will deal with the things behind you. Afterwards, I carried Mo Li to the Red Pavilion, not noticing Xiao Ruoxi's and ninth senior sister's expressions behind me. Xiao Ruoxiong was thinking at this time, the drug Mo's sister, the moralistic big devil, and the smoky Red Pavilion. Right at this moment, the ninth senior sister beside her suddenly said, could it be that senior brother wants to take advantage of the opportunity to do something untoward to Mo Li? At this moment, I have brought Mo Li to the Red Pavilion. Where is your patriarch? Quickly take me to her. The people in the Red Pavilion also knew that I had an unusual relationship with Fish Red Sleeve, and without the slightest hesitation, they took me to Fish Red Sleeve. Fish Red Sleeve flirted, so brother good, this Maltha just made such a big battle. So it is for this. I didn't have time to explain, so I first put Mo Li on the bed and asked Fish Red Sleeve if she had any antidote. The Fish Red Sleeve inspected. The younger brother is quite tolerant. This is the female doll of the Sword 3 body of Mo Chen. Right. Looking at the Fish Red Sleeve flirting with me, I am very helpless. Khan only anxiously asked. In the end, there is no antidote. Fish Red Sleeve said at this time, this is essentially just stimulate the nerves in the human body, so it is not considered a poison. And where is the antidote? Do I have to sacrifice my lust? I don't really want to do this, but saving lives is important. Fish Red Sleeve added, in fact, apart from the most primitive method, it wasn't as if there were no other solutions. Then pulling out a bottle of more stimulating medicine. The effects of the medicine interacted with each other and would walk within the meridians. I looked at the medicine in Fish Red Sleeve's hand. Sister, you're fighting poison with poison, aren't you? What if you mess up? I have already prepared a cold jade pool for you, so as long as you immerse yourself in it and keep flushing it with your spiritual energy, you will naturally be able to get out of your misery. I was very happy to hear that Fishong's Leaf had a solution. Finally, I didn't have to hold back any longer, but there was also a little bit of disappointment. But right at this moment, Mo Li suddenly grabbed my face and kissed me before I could react. At this moment, I was simply embarrassed. I was forcibly kissed by my disciple, and it was my first kiss. I hurriedly pushed Mo Li away. Otherwise, I really couldn't help myself in a while, and I don't know what might happen. Standing on the side of the Fish Red Sleeve is still flirting. Sister really did not look at the wrong person. You are also hit by the harmony scattering, actually still able to keep the heart. At this time, I have been suffocated full of red face. Fish Red Sleeve see this also did not tease me, turned around and then made me come to the cold jade pool. I then carried Mo Li and Yu Han Sleeve to the cold jade pool, where everything Yu Han Sleeve had already prepared. Fish Red Sleeve and added some spices in it. This pool is it. Sister, I will not bother you to young people. However, before I open my mouth to say thank you, only to hear the Fish Red Sleeve said, gently toss. Do not exhaust the body. Fish Red Sleeve then turned to leave. However, this woman's burst of laughter with a silver bell instantly stimulated the medicinal power of Mo Li and I. At this time, Mo Li did not know one has reached his hand to my bottom. What is this thing now, master? Before I could stop it, Murray had already clutched it and was shouting that it was Autobot. And at this point, I could barely hold it back. Looking at this scenario, no, can't wait any longer. I grabbed Mo Li and threw her into the cold jade pool. Looking into the pool slowly subsided Mo Li, and then I myself also jumped in, Mo Li waiting for me to come as a teacher. At this moment, I was secretly grateful. Fortunately, my brother is the selfless realm of the great achievement. Otherwise, what man can hold it? When I think of my Ruoxiong pupil, she deserves to be my baby. She's gifted, and she practices hard. So I'm kind of sowing beans to get melons. Mo Li thought in his heart. Could it be that this big devil didn't kill Xiao Ruoxi in his last life and only killed me? This pair of dogs and men. I will not let you go. Mo Li put his hand on my body and secretly thought, all of them betrayed me. All of them like you. All of them go to hell. At this moment, the ninth senior sister brought Xiao Ruoxi to the Red Pavilion to look for me. Fish Red Sleeve said with a smile, you guess it yourself, ah. Elder Su seems to have been hit by the harmony scatter as well, and so is the woman he's holding in his arms. What do you think they're doing here in the Red Pavilion? Xiao Ruoxiong hurriedly said, master is not that kind of person. Little sister, how can you be sure that your master is not that kind of person? No more jokes with you guys. Elder Su is indeed in the red pavilion, but I'm not sure if the woman in his arms is alright. Ninth sister hurriedly got up. Quickly take me. Fish Red Sleeve scoffed you. This is to catch adulteria. This will take you guys too. In the cold jade pool, I looked at Molly's cold eyes and was puzzled. This elder has not done anything untoward. Why would she look at me like that? Just then, my good disciple Xiao Ruoshan suddenly appeared. Master, the teacher is naturally saving people before coming to the red pavilion is not explained to you. If you don't believe me, ask Molly. Seeing this scene in front of her, the ninth senior sister turned away angrily, as if she had returned to her high-flying persona. Molly said shyly, how much thanks to Elder Su for today? There is no harm. There are residues on the medicine, so you can soak for a while longer. I said to Xiao Ruoshi, I still have to go and talk to Patriarch Fish about something, so I'll leave Molly to you to take care of him for a bit. Thanks to sister for helping me today. Otherwise my reputation would have been ruined. Sister, have we rolled out our microblogging channels yet? Now everything is ready. All we need is an Eastwind. This kind of spirit mirror is not a moral product, but the cost is not high, and it can still meet your requirements. Sister, good handwriting at first as long as to show everyone, and then buy the spiritual mirror equipped with microblogging, so who can still refuse the gossip of the 21st state? I'll leave it to my brother next. As a traveler, I'm good at this kind of gossip and fiction. Soon I edited a whole bunch of them, looking at the red sleeve of the fish with a look of incredulity. Just when I was editing being high, a voice suddenly came from outside, only to hear the man shouting, Su Bei, you son of a bitch. Get the hell out. Inside the Mo family, Mo or the head of the Mo family, asks the butler if Xiao Chong and Lear are with Su Bei. The housekeeper said, young master and Miss dined with Elder Su. Then Elder Su drew his sword and then carried Miss away, but Lear was hurt by the sword energy. I don't think so, because Elder Su carried Miss into the red pavilion. Hearing the red pavilion, Mozon directly exploded. Su Bei, you little cutie, dare to get the old man's daughter inside the red pavilion. Come on, surround the red pavilion. His Excellency has been surrounded by the crowd. There are those who want me to accompany the loss of the tea house, and those who want me to hand over Mo Li. Fish Red Sleeve flirting, brothers enemies, quite a lot of it. You see this below the sea of people are standing full of. I smiled slightly. They are all small characters. Don't worry about them. The main problem now is to think about how to clear the obstacle that the user doesn't know the words. Establishing a stronghold of cooperation between the Star and Moon sect and the Sword sect. Sending specialists to explain the hot content, which the illiterate will never miss. Brother, don't think about this first. I just took a look downstairs. Almost all of them are people from the Mo family. Such a big family actually openly called out with you. At this moment, the Star Moon sect disciples came rushing in. The patriarch of the Mo family, Mozon, said that he wanted to see Elder Su. The disciples heard from below. The matriarch Mo threatened to purify Elder Su or he would never stop. This old man has a big mouth. He even wants me to be a eunuch. Let's see how I'll clean him up later. At this moment, Mozon has already stopped outside the door with a big sword in his hand, cursing and calling me a shrinking violet. And right at this moment, Xiao Chong slowly walked out from the red pavilion. It has been a few hours. I can't imagine that Elder Su's fighting strength is terrifying to such a degree when bumping into his old man before reacting. Xiao Chong, what about your sister? And why are you here? Looking at Mozon's expression, Xiao Chong whispered, Father's sister was hit by the harmony scatter. That is why she was brought here by Elder Su to cure the poison. Mozon directly slapped Xiao Chong out of the room. You as a younger brother, so you protect your sister. At this time, Fish Red Sleeve and I have already walked out. Fish Red Sleeve asked the Mo Patriarch, to my Star Moon sect, what is the purpose? Mozon was puzzled. Why did Patriarch Fish say this? Is he going to stand up for this lecherous demon Su Bei? And I didn't pay any attention to him, completely disregarding him. Outside, the eaters have begun to spit up, calling me a bully and a villain, saying that I'm not a thing for destroying people's industries. At this time, a sword sect disciple shouted at me, Elder Su, what's going on? Say something. Seeing the scene, I look indifferent. Things are now yes or no, to say or not to say. What is the point? I only saw Mozon raise the big knife in his hand and said, bring my daughter into the red pavilion in an unclear manner. You give me meaning. If you don't give me an explanation today, I definitely won't spare you. Tell me, what exactly did you do when you brought my daughter to the red pavilion? If Lear has a good or bad, I will send you to the west. I go. The original lit knife can also be inherited. And just at this moment Mo Li suddenly appeared, only to see that she did not have time to wear her jacket, and hastily shouted, Father, I am here. Mo Li hurriedly apologized for what his father had done. Mo Li hereby thanked Elder Su for saving his life and Patriarch Fish for the cold jade spring. Mo Li hurriedly explained to his father, that Elder Su had brought his child to the Red Pavilion for medical treatment immediately after he realized that his state was not right. When the people realized I was innocent, they even pointed the finger at Wu Huoqiu, saying that Wu Huoqiu is a bunch of hypocrites. Looking at Mo Li's thin clothes, Mo-zan hurriedly said, "Lear, go back and put your clothes on first. Don't catch a cold." At that moment, Mo also slowly walked towards me, intending to apologize to me. I completely ignored him. I only saw me looking at the sky above me, then slowly said, 21 lands are out of bounds, and the calamity of the 10,000 tribes is like a tiger and a wolf. Later, the Sword Sect joined the war, and the Sword Sect was still called the World Sword Sect, and many experts sacrificed their bodies to the swords to repel the great wasteland cultivators. Later, the world lost the Sword Clan, and the Sword Clan lost the world. Su said, "These are just to tell you that the people of the Sword Sect are not good at words or not willing to explain. But with a 3-foot blade in hand, one will never lose any of the world's great justice. This is the pride of a Sword Sect disciple." And what I didn't realize was that I had casually said to things that made my disciple understand that. Mo-zan tears at this time. Elder Su is a small man's heart to measure the gentleman's heart. Almost mistakenly heard Elder Su. Patriarch Mo doesn't need to worry too much. The matter is all in the past. Mr. Su does have an ungrateful request. In the future, Mr. Su will host a grand Sword Sect enrollment speech at the Mo Mansion. As long as people come, they can receive 10 eggs. Is that okay with Patriarch Mo? I'll leave this little matter to Mo. How can 10 be enough? 20 would be worthy of Elder Su. Looking at Mo-zan's appearance, I hastily reminded Patriarch Mo, that egg is not a small amount. Think twice. On the other side, Mo Li was about to change his clothes when he suddenly realized that Xiao Ruoxiong had actually come over behind him. Xiao Ruoxiong asked with a gloomy face, "Miss Mo picking out the Red Pavilion clothes. I don't know who she's going to dress up for." Naturally, it was for Master's Wen to see. Listening to Mo Li's answer, Xiao Ruoxiong sheepishly asked, "Could it be that you and Master's Wen have already communicated deeply? If you hadn't come at the wrong time, it would really be hard to tell. I wonder why Fairy Xiao is so nervous." The two were also arguing with each other and quarreling, which made Mo Li even more suspicious that Xiao Ruoxi and I had an ulterior motive. Xiao Ruoxiong looked at Mo Li also a little angry. It seems to be inevitable after all. This life she still chose the big devil. Seeing that he couldn't say anything about Mo Li, Xiao Ruoxi said, "Master has left you with a small returning Dan to help you recover your vitality. Miss Mo will leave you here." Mo Li looked at Xiao Ruoxiong thoughtfully. "Senior sister, the last life I was simple-minded, but did not see the relationship between you and the teacher's father." At this time, Mo Li secretly thought in his heart, "What Ruoxi Zijuin, Master, in this life, I will step on all of you under my feet." And after my passionate speech, the number of people signing up for the Sword Sect has already exceeded the record of previous years. I smiled blandly and calmly told them, "This is just where it's at. My father's streak is still long." At this moment, I called Xiao Ruoxi, "Disciple, come up to this place. Let me see how well you've been cultivating lately." However, no one paid any attention to me. What's wrong with this little girl again? Why does she smell so jealous? Looking at Xiao Ruoxiong's appearance, I was very puzzled. "Imo, what's wrong with you? Why are you moping?" Xiao Ruoxiong shyly asked, "Master, will you accept Mo Li as your disciple?" That tone was full of worry. Mo Li is extremely talented and has outstanding looks, while I am poorly qualified and have mediocre looks. I'm afraid the master will dislike emotion at that time. I grabbed Xiao Ruoxiong's hand. I said, "Why is your face so red?" "So it's because you're jealous. Amor, don't worry. Master won't dislike Amor. After taking in a new disciple, you will always be my precious disciple in Master's eyes. And you as a big sister, you should have the appearance of a big sister, to be stable and important heart like still water, plain and unperturbed. At night, in order to ease the mood of the love child, I am going to take her out shopping. After all, it's not easy to come to the city of ink. Love child, this place I am unfamiliar with." Quickly grab the master's hand, otherwise it should be lost. "I will take you to buy sugar gourds to eat." "How's Imo? How are the sugar gourds?" Xiao Ruoxiong, who was eating the sugar gourd, thought in her heart, "What is the bad idea of trying to buy me with the sugar gourd?" Just at this moment, Xiao Ruoxiong saw that there is a fortune teller next to me and hastened to call me. The master is not spiritual, do not want money. When I heard the 3 words of fortune-telling, I was inspired. I went to the stall of fortune-telling. How about the old gentleman giving us a face reading? The old man was confused after looking up and down. Both of you seem to have a destiny. It seems like you will die at his hands. Xiao Ruoxian was stunned when she heard this. What kind of person was this old man, that he could tell past lives and present lives? And I didn't pay any attention to what the old man said. Mr. Old, please don't say it again. Let's talk about it. I took the old man to the alley and introduced him to a lucrative business, pulling in a cultivation seedling 10 spirit stones. And you can get your peers on board, develop them into downlines, and you'll be the middleman making the difference. Elder Su, don't worry, 1 counts as 1. This matter is wrapped up in the old man. The old man is sure to get all of them to the sword sect for you. I then grabbed Xiao Ruoxian's hand and quickly ran towards the shop selling clothes. Xiao Ruoxian was still very confused at this moment. Elder Su is here. Is Elder Su buying clothes for this young lady? Our patriarch Fish ordered to come over. Yes, she is paying for the whole place. Fish is really a rich woman. This is my pupil. Give her a set of expensive choices from inside to outside. I was about to take my protege to another room to pick out some clothes. Yet the maid stopped me, saying that they were women's only items. Originally still ready to personally pick a few belly buttons for her disciple, Xiao Ruoxi was instantly shy and ran in by herself. I didn't expect that the new clothes of the good disciple looks like a heavenly fairy, brightly blinded my eyes. It's really a special thing on earth. At this time Xiao Ruoxian faced shy. Master, you say this is also too exaggerated, which is so good looking. Just at this moment, I unexpectedly ran into the 9th senior sister. I rushed to greet. Senior sister, good coincidence. You also come to buy clothes. I don't know what I did to piss off the 9th senior sister, but the 9th senior sister ignored me and left alone. After going back, Xiao Ruoxian threw the clothes on the ground. This big devil, I me such clothes. It can't be that you want to let me wear it when you're in dual cultivation with me, but I've already bought such an expensive garment, so let's try it on. Just as Xiao Ruoxian was changing her clothes, Master, you're so annoying. Hurry up and get out for others. Very embarrassed, I said hastily outside. That early to bed. Tomorrow still have to go to the Murray family speech. The next day, there was a long queue in front of the Mo mansion. All of them came to collect the eggs, but Mozon was heartbroken. Mozon was puzzled by the fact that 100,000 eggs were gone just like that. Master, you didn't say that only immoral cultivators could receive them. Covering his chest, Mozon said to me, Elder Su, is it okay? It is not too late. Let us start. I didn't expect so many people to come. I have to hold back a big move to calm down the scene, otherwise no one will hear it even if I die of exhaustion. I saw a sea of people down there, one after the other, squeezing towards the front, and there was even a stampede. Mozon stood above and shouted, next is the sword sect. The 5th elder Su Bei is going to preach the enrollment policy of the sword sect for everyone. We have Elder Su. One by one, the crowds below were confused. Who is Elder Su? Does he have anything to do with leading eggs? At this moment someone looked at my appearance and said, as if it was the one who took a sword and gave God a hole in his head. Just as I got on stage, I signaled to the people below. The 5th elder has signaled, release the cranes quickly. Only a huge crane appeared in the sky, and the crowd was attracted to it. Who is known as the Face Ceiling in the immortal cultivation world, actually has a lesser known title, which is the immortal world's great luminary, to be able to fool the poorest sword clan into the most luxurious clan for everyone. I believe that in the immortal cultivation world, only I, Su Bei, can do it. At this point my highlight moment finally began. I told the crowd on stage that cultivating immortality is harder than climbing up to the sky. The Oriental Sword Sect has an immortal way to cross the top 20 peaks. The sword sect is lofty and Quiwanese. Although the sword clan is cloud music, it is better to return home early. Cultivating immortality is difficult, harder than the blue sky. Sideways and west looking at the long consulting contempt. And this heirloom poem of mine just now has caused the big brother of the Confucian sect to admire it so much that he cannot help but shed tears of excitement. Such a good thing. Have to immediately inform the lower part of the clan crowd discussing with each other. Worthy of the Confucian big brother? This can be heard. At this time, the crowd on the stage were talking. Worthy of being a Confucian big brother. Speak up. So learned. Simply do not understand. I'm embarrassed. What's the situation? Why don't you mention the sword sect and the Confucian sect? Su Bei wouldn't do it for others. It seems to be necessary to pull out some dry goods, I said in a domineering manner. Everyone has said that it's not easy to cultivate immortality. But why do you still want to cultivate immortality? At this time I put on an inscrutable look and said lightly, that the so-called immoral cultivation. The first thing to look at is the temperament. I hold the Qingping sword in my hand. With a proud face, so-called how many wronged immorals you have cultivated. It determines how much temperament you have. Many disciples have betrayed our sword sect, but our sword sect still sent him down the mountain for 1,000,000. The crowd on stage guessed in surprise. At this time I hurriedly said while the heat was on, those who betray the sword sect have 1,000,000. So those who will be loyal to my sword sect in the future will have several 100,000,000. On the other side, inside the residence of the Southwind Master, the Southwind Master was leisurely reciting a poem, with a woman sitting next to him. Just then the subordinate suddenly reported to Sir, the eyes of the statue in the temple of the sage of literature have lit up, and an heirloom poem has appeared. The Southwind Kingdom Master had a puzzled look on his face. The Eastwind Ancient Kingdom loved martial arts. It was unexpected that there was such a talent. Send someone to find out. At this time look at the body to know is a beautiful girl suddenly stood up. The father let his daughter go. Just wanted to meet with a few acquaintances. And just as I walked out of Mo City, I saw a large number of people going to the sword set. Not for any other reason, but for the hundreds of millions of dollars. I can't help but sigh. What lovely people. Folks so kind and simple. Can't be found with a lantern. Mo Li and Xiao Chong also came out to bid us farewell. But I don't know why I didn't see Mo Li's reluctance to let go of me. Mo Li also gave me a small gift to open after I returned to the sword sect. It looks quite mysterious. This can't make the side of Xiao Ruoshi angry enough. I rushed to take the disciples to run away. There is no way. Women are too terrible when they are jealous. Mo Li looked at my departing back, looking extraordinarily expectant. I wonder what bad ideas she had again. When coming to the crossroads, the disciples asked me which path to choose next, and I told them that you can't put your eggs in the same basket. The main road was peaceful and closer, and before I could finish, these foolish disciples chose the main road. Xiao Ruoxian thought in her heart, Master, it took me on the small path, where there is no one in the middle of nowhere. It can't be that he is trying to plot against me, right? Xiao Ruoxian then asked, Master, why do we have to take the treacherous and far roundabout path? That the protagonist must cultivate the Kung Fu. Doesn't it say that the protagonist jumping off the cliff will have a strange encounter? That's why I brought you here to jump off the cliff. Xiao Ruoxian at this time is simply speechless. Jumping off the cliff, there is no chance she does not know, because the bookend was torn by her. At this moment, the seriously injured ninth sister ran over and started shouting from a long distance, Run, 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 run. I looked at the seriously injured ninth senior sister and asked hurriedly, Senior sister, what exactly happened? How did you get so seriously injured? I only heard the ninth senior sister, who was lying in my arms, feebly say, Senior brother, quickly go. Someone is besieging our sword sect.